follow on my page and on Laura High's page. We have Laura High here today. Let me read you her bio. These are not my words. I don't want you to think I'm stealing her material. So I'm going to read it. Laura High has performed in the New York Comedy Festival. Do you guys understand what we're talking about? That is nothing easy to get into. A New York Comedy Festival. She has headlined at Caroline's Comedy Club. Are you kidding me? Do you know what I'm talking about? She wasn't the host, like she's a headliner. Oh my gosh. And she's been on Lifetime. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? We have to talk to her. She has her own production company called Blunder Theory, and they produce constant content. Kind of sounds like me. Just always there saying something. Please follow her on Blunder Theory on all social media platforms. Oh, let's talk to Laura High. Hi, Laura High. Good. How are you?
Doing good, surviving quarantine. I'm just very grateful to be here and to be healthy right now.
And you're in New York surviving it. Kudos.
Yeah, thank you. It's been quite a ride. It's been interesting here, living in our little petri dish of New York, but it's been, we've been doing okay.
Yes, and it's starting to get near the end, hopefully.
We're dreaming of shows again. Right now you can tell stand-ups are starting to ramp up. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta start losing weight again. Oh my God, you gotta get that quarantine weight off fast.
Yes. Well, let's talk about Laura High from the beginning.
Sure.
Were you funny your whole life, or did it come on late? Was it late onset?
I would say I was striving to be funny my whole life. I don't know if I actually achieved that my whole life. I think I barely achieve it now. But no, I always loved making people laugh. And that was a way that I found very, very early on in life. I can't exactly say when, but it was always there. Always loved making people laugh. And that was and at a very young age, I would always do the silliest thing. And that was something that I learned again very early on, was like I didn't want to be Cinderella. I didn't want to be like the super pretty ingenue. Put me in weird makeup, crazy hair, throw me on stage, and let me just be weird.
That's so cool. So who are some people early in your life that told you were funny or encouraged you to go do funny?
Certainly, well, my mom definitely told me that I was funny, and that was certainly the case. My dad did realize I was funny when I was 16, because I played a stepsister in Cinderella, and then he was just like, "Oh shit, you're really funny. Oh my God, you need to like actually do this." But I would say it was like probably my friends who laughed at my really stupid jokes, because I would be the one doing the really idiotic thing for laughter. I don't really I think it was just me. I think it was just me telling like, I don't know, I guess this is gonna make me laugh.
That's so cool.
I would say people told me I was funny.
Say that again.
I think it was people told me I was funny much later. I think it was when I hit like high school, maybe a little bit into middle school, but high school and then definitely college was when people were like, "Oh no, you're funny."
That's great. So when did you make a decision to start pursuing comedy? At what age?
Well, I mean, I've always been an actor. That was something like I have a degree in acting, and it was always what I was studying and I was booked the most for, was doing comedic roles on stage, comedic roles on film and TV. It's why I got booked on Lifetime. But specifically pursuing stand-up comedy, I was in a comedic show like my first year here as an actor, and somebody asked me, they were like, "Do you do stand-up?" And I'm like, "I've never done it." And they said, you read your lines like you would stand-up comedy. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? I've always wanted to try it. Why don't I just do it and see if I like it? And I took the class with Linda Smith at Caroline's on Broadway, and I fell in love with it immediately. It was like, no, this is it. This is home. This thing. This is what it is. And I have not stopped since. And I think I've been like seriously pursuing it for like 7 years, I want to say.
Wow.
Just to stay safe, maybe 7 to 8, but yeah, somewhere around that then.
Very cool. And so I want to go back to your acting and your lifetime. Talk to me about your acting career, you little sneaky thing, you. I didn't even know that. I don't go spy on people. You know, whatever they submit to me, and then something comes out in the interview, and I'm like, what? Tell me about your act.
Yeah, no, I'm an actor. I'm part of the Actors Union. I'm SAG-AFTRA. I've got my degree in performing from Nazareth College, and that's what I came to New York City to do. Started off in theater, and then I started really pursuing like commercials, film, and TV, and I loved it. I absolutely fell in love with the camera and being able to learn how to like work within the frame versus work with on a stage. And I absolutely love it. And that's also what I would get, or would be, you know, comedic stuff. And that's been a very exciting trail. But no, I got booked for Lifetime. I was on a show called I Love You, But I Lied.
It's the video skipped. What was that you were on?
I was on I Love You, But I Lied on Lifetime, and it was all improv. There was no script, it was all improv, but it was all dramatic, except my episode was the funny episode, and they were like, we need somebody funny. And then I came in, it was my third time auditioning for the show, and they already knew that I was a stand-up, they knew I was in comedy, and they basically just kind of like, they were like, all right, just do something. And I remember making them laugh in the audition hall. And it was one of the most fun weeks filming. It was so much fun to do it. It was just 4 actors the entire episode, and we just had a ball all together.
How cool is that? You must really have some kind of training chops behind you to be able to do all that you were trained to do in the moment on Lifetime. I mean, did you get nervous?
Oh, I was terrified. I still am, because it was like, that was my first, I got it. It was, I hadn't had much experience being on camera at that point. So it was like kind of terrifying. Now, if I did it, it would have been very different, because I would have a much better sense of like how to work the frame, how to work the camera. But at that point, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just really hoping that what I'm doing is somewhat correct. And then from then on, I got booked in a lot more like, a lot of filmed variety shows. I got a lot more commercial work. A lot of it's all improv nowadays. So like, continue to do improv, but that was like my first real thing. And it was just, but I remember I was terrified. Ton of fun, terrified.
Wow. So tell me about your favorite thing in movies, on commercial, like a favorite thing in a commercial, a favorite thing in frame, other than a commercial, and your favorite time on stage as comedy stand-up.
I mean, definitely my favorite stand-up moment has definitely been when I headlined at Caroline's, because that was, you know, I mean, that took so much work. That was 40 minutes on stage. Again, like if you watch because we had the whole thing filmed, and if you watch the first 3 minutes, you just see deer in the headlights. I'm terrified. I'm standing there going like, I even like, I'm just like kind of looking at the mic, just going like, all right, well, I'm here. I guess I got to figure out something to say. Oh my God. Oh, there's laughing. I'm nervous. I think I say that. I'm like, well, I'm nervous. But no, it was so much fun. It was so amazing. I had like, you know, some of my best friends in the business who were on the show with me. It was such a wonderful experience, but that one definitely was my absolute favorite moment on stage.
I had a funny feeling you were going to say that. I mean, if I had headlined at Caroline's, I would be saying that too. Oh my gosh. It's like the pinnacle that
Yeah,
everybody's shooting for.
yeah. I mean, it was. I think I had 6 months of prep, and it just was show after mic after show after mic, and writing, and just so much prep work, and then to just, it's like, I hope this is good, because I mean, rehearsing for it is a very weird thing, because I didn't have, I that was the first time I did the full 40 minutes. There was no other time that I had done the full 40. I had done chunks. I had done 20 here, 10 here, 5 here, 15 here, but never the full 40, except for in my living room. And so terrifying to know, like, this is the first time this is happening. And I had my set list out by my cup of water on my index card written. That's like, if I forget it, it's there. But like, holy crap, I hope I don't forget anything. But it was, and I think I did forget like one joke, and I was like, God damn it. One. I was pissed because it was a good joke. But no, it felt good, and it felt, because it's I mean, as you know, with stand-up, it's purely you. It's your voice, it's your writing, it's your directing, it is the most you. And I got to make people laugh for 40 minutes, and it was the most incredible feeling.
Well, who are some of the people that helped you get to that point that you want to give a shout out to?
Well, I mean, definitely Linda Smith of Caroline's on Broadway, hands down, was Linda. She, I would have not been there without her. I mean, the whole club was wonderful to me. Everybody from, they really all were just so fantastic. Everybody from, like, you know, the head guy Lou, to the incredible floor manager Peter, to the assistant booker at the time Carolyn, everybody was just so supportive and wonderful. So I mean, they were just great. So I definitely want to thank Caroline's just in general. But beyond that, I mean, both of my parents were so supportive. They were incredible. But definitely the guy who opened for me, who's also my friend, Dave Colombo, he was with me almost every single mic, every single show, writing with me the entire, helping me prep. And there is no way I could have gotten there without him. And then he killed in his opening 10 minutes. He just killed. So, and he is also headlining Caroline's as soon as the pandemic is over. So he was supposed to be headlining in April, and then it got canceled. So then he was going to headline in August, which is going to get canceled. So now they're saying beginning of this coming year. Goes to Dave Colombo. He's going to be great.
Awesome. So now tell me about your best experience in a Lifetime type movie where you're doing improv or acting on screen versus your favorite moment in a commercial.
Well, definitely my favorite moment in a commercial was when I got to meet John Mayer. That was pretty cool.
Oh, tell me about that.
I honestly, I kind of can't tell a lot, to be perfectly honest. But all I can say was meeting John Mayer was pretty damn cool.
That's cool.
That one was just like, well, aren't you a nice young man? Hello, sir. Yes. You are very tall. Good job. Well done. That one was really fun. And that one was literally, I got booked for that. I submitted to that at 11 p.m. Next morning, I woke up and I got a phone call from the casting director at 8 a.m.
Holy Toledo. That's so cool.
And they were like, can you come in today at 4? And I'm like, okay. But yeah, that one was definitely my favorite. But I can't, unfortunately, talk too much about. But and then favorite filming, honestly, and I know that it's not my best. It's obviously not my best paying. It's not the most grand. But I think the most fun filming I've had is what I've been doing during quarantine. Me and my housemates have been filming quarantine sketches over the past few months, and honestly, that's been like the most fun. It's been stuff that we've been writing about quarantine, stuff that's been making us laugh. It's done really well on social media. It's been the most fun because it's been me and my friends and my boyfriend, and we just have been loving it.
Is that Blunder Theory?
Yeah.
I can't wait to find it on every platform except Stilettos, right?
Absolutely. No, yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Obviously, we got our YouTube channel. Check out every single sketch we've done, and it's all been under the banner of Quarantine Heights because we live in Washington Heights. And they're all sketches based around being in quarantine. And
so is it called, do I find it by Blunder Theory or by the other name?
I'll find it by Blunder Theory because it'll all be there.
Got it. Wonderful.
Yeah.
What are you searching for in your, like, what are your goals? Because you're young, you're beautiful, you're marketable, you're talented, you're versatile. The world's your oyster, girl. So what exactly are you trying to go for in, like, a talk show host, or, you know, continue with all of that you've done and then some, or where are you going with your whole career?
What I ideally really love, I mean, I always want to have stand up because I love it. I always want to continually always be doing stand up. But what I really want to be doing more is to be breaking way into TV. I want to be on TV shows. I would like to be producing TV shows. And I am currently, actually, one of my TV shows is currently getting pitched to networks.
What?
It got picked up by a production company. So it's in the process of getting pitched right now. We literally started pitching the week that we went into quarantine. So it was like, oh, well, this sucks. So, I mean, you know, fingers crossed that something's good. It was just horrible timing for us. But
are you allowed to talk anything about what that is in generics?
What I can tell you is there, if you go back into Blunder Theory and search for a show called Are You My Daddy? And it is that show. It's we sort of, me and the production company partnered. We did it up a bit, but that is what it is fully based on. So go find Are You My Daddy? And yeah, you can sort of see where we're going from there. But and it was fun because I was producing the series, and then suddenly I had to stop immediately, and I got all these people like, why'd you stop you doing your show? And I'm like, I can't tell you yet, but trust me, it's good. I'm fine.
Oh, wow. So how did it go when you were in the New York Comedy Festival?
Oh, it was like one of the greatest. It was one of the greatest things. It was Linda Smith, also Caroline, she was the show, and she wanted to do a show for the New York Comedy Festival. She wanted to showcase comics who had who had been grinding for a while but hadn't quite broken through yet. And I got selected. Actually, my boyfriend, my now boyfriend, also got selected. A bunch of our friends did. We all did about 7 minutes each, ton of industry, and it was a packed room. It was, I mean, it was not a seat available. It was over 300 people. We had Howie Mandel dropped in and closed out the show. It was so freaking fantastic. We had a ball. It was one of the coolest instances. I mean, definitely that would have been my second coolest stand-up experience after headlining. It was just such a great show. Everybody did great.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, what do you have to say to people? We're going through our very first pandemic, and you're a comedian, you're a funny person. Do you have any funny inspiration, maybe from something you've seen, or what they can do to cope through it with humor? Or,
I mean, to me, a lot of what my stand-up is stuff that it's stuff that I write a lot of stand up about things that have made me angry, things that have made me sad, and things that have been challenging in my life. That's to me way, that to me is really interesting. That to me is what will set you very much apart. So if you are getting upset and you're frustrated by something and you just it's kind of just stuck in you, write something funny about it. Like just figure out a funny angle. To me it's extremely cathartic. It gets it out of you. And I mean, one of the things that I did was like, I currently, I'm going through a divorce. And so I immediately started writing about stand up about my divorce. And that's actually how I closed my headliner set out. And it was something that, like, with my divorce, I really wasn't talking to anybody about. I didn't want to talk. I wasn't ready to talk, but I could write about it. I could perform about it. And it was really interesting because that was on my headlining set, was really the first time people were hearing me talk about it for the first time.
Wow.
Because it was like, I couldn't talk about it beforehand. I didn't want to talk about it beforehand. I was like, nope, I'm sorry. That just not talking about it. That was the first time I did. Afterwards, I could start talking about it a little bit more. But it's so much easier for me to communicate in the platform of jokes. And I don't know why that's actually healthy. It's a defense mechanism. But it's being happier, and there's something healing about it. So with the pandemic, with quarantine, everything, oh, my internet is saying it's stable. Hang on, let me double check on it. And there we go. Okay. If it's, write anything that makes you laugh. It will help you, it will save you, whether that's going to be a cartoon, whether that's a sketch, it's a joke, it's a one-liner, it's a script, whatever it is. There's always something, you can always make a joke out of it. And humor is an amazing way of communicating, and it's not downplaying the severity of anything. Quite the opposite. It actually highlights and showcases it in a incredible way. It's a very powerful form of communication, so don't shy away from it.
No, I agree with you. I've done comedy shows for veterans, and when I'm done, I tell them how. What?
Wonderful. That's incredible.
Thank you. I'm a veteran. And so, yeah. And
Well,
so,
nervous.
thank you. And then at the end of my comedy that I do for them, I tell them everything I said is really real, really happened. Wasn't funny at the time, but thanks to Shakespeare and a lot of time, you know. So if you have anything you've been through, come in the back and let's make it funny. And it's amazing how veterans hold a lot of stuff in, especially Vietnam veterans are holding in so much. We don't even know about Afghanistan returning combat but definitely the stats are in that, Vietnam veterans are holding a lot in and need to get it out. It's poison.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my family, my grandfather, they're Holocaust survivors.
Mine too. My dad.
In where were they? In Poland, Germany, France? Where were they?
My dad's mother was in Minsk, but my dad he went all around. I don't know. It's a whole long story. I don't even know if I'll ever get the truth out of Germany. What about yours?
All in Poland. My family, they were part of the Polish underground, caught after the Warsaw Uprising, and my all went into camps. Grandfather was in Auschwitz, great uncle was in Auschwitz, two great aunts, like work camp, science experiments. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's so growing up with my grandfather being this, he's got this incredible horror story of the Holocaust. And he's definitely very, very careful about talking about it, but he's also one of the funniest guys. And he loves to laugh. He wants to make other people laugh. He's always trying to joke. And it's something for him and I laugh together all the time. We laugh all the time. And we also, like, him and I crack Holocaust jokes together all the time. Like, we make jokes about the Nazis all the time. Like, that's one of our favorite things.
Me too. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we like to do. And I wrote a joke about it in my stand up. I'm like, my grandfather's a Holocaust survivor, which means I win an argument with him. I told him that joke. He was like, but it's true.
I have a line. I say that my parents went through the Holocaust, and then they'll get quiet. And so I'll say, the one that did exist.
Nice. Yep. Well, yep. I mean, especially for people like whose family's been in the Holocaust, it's like we really get that joke.
Thank you. The one that existed.
Not the fake one, the real one. Yes, we went through that one.
Yeah. I faked a lot of things in my life. Holocaust survivor, no. Yeah. We have a lot more we could talk about, and I need to get off the phone here and let you go. And I just want to tell you, Laura, you are amazing. You're so young and marketable and funny and multi-talented. Oh my gosh, I wish you the very best. Very best.
You the very best and safety, and I hopefully will be able to perform together when all this whole thing is done.
Thank you. Anytime you have something you want to promote, you just call me and text me, message me, and I'll put you back on for 5 to plug something.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care. Love you lots.
Love you too. Be safe.
Bye. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Everybody's